Hey Kaiju fans, so for today we will be reviewing 4 Godzillas. They're basically all the same sculpt, but they're from the 1995 Forever series released by Bandai. All very unique and interesting in their own right. And let's go ahead and jump in. Alright, let's go ahead and first start with probably the most popular variant in wide circulation. This is the 1995 Burning Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Destroya. This was widely released, so I think there's quite a few of them out there. Certainly it's been about 30 years since they got released, but nevertheless they were in wide circulation. And yeah, essentially it's just kind of a perfect rendition, if you will, of the Godzilla within the movie. You can see he's got some red blotches denoting his ability to kind of, let's call it, absorb nuclear material, and slowly his body's degrading. But yeah, this is a kind of a good figure to have. I would consider it's, you know, maybe there are a lot of variants that have been released since then, but this is probably the original figure that came out roughly around the time of the movie. Alright, so this next figure is probably my favorite of the 4 that I'm showing you guys today. This one is a variant. This one's actually pretty rare. I think I ended up buying this aftermarket and some years later after its initial release, but basically this is from the 95 Godzilla vs. Destroya movie, but in this case here, Godzilla is sort of in the process of melting down. So what's unique about this figure is that it has shades of orange kind of dispersed throughout the body. There are some remnants of his original kind of gray, dark, black gray kind of skin color. There are some patches of red, which I think is also kind of a neat effect. And when you blend them all together, kind of looks like a living being with a luminescent sort of quality, and there's all these kind of patchy spots that really make it stand out. And I think nowadays this figure is going for quite a bit of money. Granted, this does not have the tag. I think I bought it without the tag. It was separate, but yeah, it's a really cool figure, and I think it's probably one of my favorites of the 4. So this figure is the actual at the point of meltdown Godzilla. This one is essentially all red with a bit of orange in it, at least in some parts of the body. This one's really cool because it kind of matches the Super Final Premium Godzilla that I have. It's much larger, certainly that one, but this one is basically 9 inches tall and essentially the same sculpt as the others, but it really looks like Godzilla's about to melt down, at the point of meltdown, and I think this is really iconic. You know, I think it was sort of hard to find, maybe not as hard as some of the other figures I currently have, but certainly the paint job is terrific, and you obviously have to get this one in order to kind of complete that collection. So this Godzilla is from Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla in 1993. If you will recall in the movie, Fire Rodan gives his life's energy to Godzilla as he's kind of down and out, and essentially revitalizes him. This figure is also known as the Disco version, just because of the interesting color scape on it. It has sort of this black and dark gray skin undertone, but then on top of it there's this whole sort of glitter, gold glitter that's it permeates kind of throughout the rest of the figure. So in my opinion, this is probably one of the most artistic figures out there, at least from the original Bandai releases. And certainly I think this is worth quite a bit of money now, and they certainly don't make these anymore. Just quick aside story, this one is a legitimate version of that Disco Godzilla, but unfortunately I made the mistake when I bought my first, what I thought the first Disco Godzilla, that ended up being a knockoff because some of the paint was coming off and the tag was like a photocopy, so that wasn't really pleasant. But you do have to be kind of careful about which versions are legitimate and which are just facsimiles, if you will. But yeah, this is certainly an iconic figure. Alright guys, so hopefully you enjoyed this video and you found it somewhat informative. If you did, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. And please head on over to KaijuKingdomCollectibles.com. We have a variety of other Kaiju related products. We're trying to update that inventory as often as we can. So until next time, have a good one.